Welcome to World Religions Part 1. As people in early agrarian or farming civilizations created more complex governments and more efficient forms of communication, they also developed what we now call religion. Religion can be traced back to the writings of ancient Mesopotamia in 1200 BCE. They believed gods looked out for their well-being and their crops. There are thousands of religions practiced around the world, but we'll be focusing on 5 major world religions: Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam. These religions are bigger than a single city or even a single region. These religions have survived thousands of years. It's important as social scientists to ask ourselves, why is it that major belief systems emerged between 1200 BCE and 700 CE? In fact, why did all major religions appear during that era? As the population of Asia and Africa soared over 1 million, there was an increase in trade and cultural interaction between people. This allowed religious ideas to be shared more easily. A common religion allowed for cultural communication, a set of morals, and personal trust among strangers. These religions were accepted by thousands of followers. They appealed to people from all social classes and occupations. The texts and tenets, which are principles, of these faiths attracted a wide variety of people. This made religious beliefs more likely to spread along trade routes.
Hinduism allows for the worship of numerous powerful deities or gods or goddesses. Buddhism also accepts the existence of multiple divine beings. All of these religions teach that human relations should be guided by kindness, selflessness, and decency.
So then how did each belief system define their relationships with God, with society, and with other humans? Well, first there's Hinduism, which is often called the oldest religion. Hinduism has no single founder. Its main ideas appear in a variety of different texts written over time, starting around 4,000 years ago.
What's interesting about Hinduism is that it was developed by a group of people living in the Indus Valley who lived under a strict social system called the caste system. In the caste system, people were born into a certain class and stayed in it for their entire lives. The untouchables were the lowest members of society. This group did the jobs no one else wanted to do. They were regarded by the other groups as ritually impure and therefore outside the caste system. The sages had service jobs, and the Vaishyas were herders, farmers, artisans, and merchants. The Kshatriyas, the second highest caste, were the warriors and rulers. The top were the Brahmins, who were the priests, scholars, and teachers. Because priests were part of this caste, the early religion is known as Brahmanism. The Hindus revered many gods, but are still considered monotheistic. They believe that people had many lives. This is the idea of reincarnation, the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. Also, they believe in karma. Whatever a person did in this life would determine what he or she would be when they are reincarnated in their next life. The cycle ends only when a person realizes that his or her soul and God's soul are one, or moksha. Focusing on the positive and trying to achieve happiness can bring meaning to life and can move people's focus from daily drudgery or suffering. It brings hope that one day people might achieve eternal salvation or be released from the reincarnation cycle.
The second religion we're looking at in this tutorial is Buddhism. Buddhism evolved out of Hinduism and the caste system. In this case, there was a male founder of the religion, Siddhartha Gautama, and he was born in South Asia, current-day Nepal, in 563 to a Kshatriya Hindu family, which was the warrior or ruler class. When Siddhartha was young, his father asked wise men what his son would become in life. The wise men said he would be a great leader, unless he saw suffering. So Siddhartha's father kept him inside the palace walls at all times. It wasn't until Siddhartha was 16 and got married and had a son he was able to leave. Later, Siddhartha left the palace walls, and he saw illness, poverty, death, and human suffering in the world. He fled his home and began to search for peace. Siddhartha spent 6 years wandering around South Asia, trying to ease the world of suffering. One day, he sat under the Bodhi tree to meditate. While he was meditating, he became enlightened, or saw the truth. This is how he earned the name Buddha, the Bodhisattva, or the Enlightened One. After his enlightenment, he began to share what had been revealed to him under the Bodhi tree. These teachings include the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The whole purpose is to end suffering in the world and to achieve the goal of enlightenment, nirvana. The teachings of Buddha are often referred to as Dharma. This word closely associates with truth. This follows the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The Buddha believed that life is filled with suffering, and the root of this suffering comes from somebody's desires, the fact you want what you don't have. In order to stop suffering, you must get rid of desire or greed. If you follow the Eightfold Path, you can eliminate these desires and stop suffering. The Eightfold Path of Buddhism breaks down into 8 divisions of the path to achieve spiritual enlightenment and end suffering. Right speech, right action, right livelihood to ethical conduct, and right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration to meditation. They are simple rules that are present in all other religions. Be kind to each other. Do not gossip. Do not kill or steal. Be loyal. Make good choices. Learn a lot and try to be calm. After he revealed these ideas, the Buddha stopped worshipping Hindu gods. He no longer believed that one caste was better than others. Still, Buddhism kept some similarities to Hinduism. Buddhists believe in the following these steps would lead them towards nirvana, which would stop the cycle of reincarnation. And both provided pathways to earn salvation. Here it meant the ending of the cycle of reincarnation, whether or not you did it in one life or many lives. Tune in to part 2 of World Culture's view on world religion with Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
This has been a World Cultures production.